Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. Today, Tandavika Prabhu will be leading the kirtan. So, Prabhu, if you will, go ahead and unmute yourself, and just keep in mind that your kirtan should be last till 8:10.
Got it, Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Thank you,
could
Prabhu.
you could you be my responder because I don't have anybody right now.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namo Vishnu Padaya
Prabhupada.
Krishna Prastaya Bhutale
Prabhupada.
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharini Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desattarini.
Namaste Saraswati Devim
Prabhupada.
Gauravani Prachanine
Prabhupada.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastachadishatarine.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ramo Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada Jaya Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada.
Jaya Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Jaya Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Patita Pavana Shila Prabhupada Jaya Patita Pavana Shila Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Right. Thank you, Dhanavika Prabhu. Gorgadadar Prabhu, you guys will be singing Yashamati Nandan.
Uh, yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, we have 5 minutes, right, Prabhu?
Correct. Till
Yeah.
8:15.
Sure. Thank you.
Prabhuji, do we need to read the translation?
Yes, we do.
Sure, Prabhu. Just a minute. Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yashoda, the transcendental lover in the land of Raja, the delight of Gokula, everyone's darling, and the life and soul of the gopis. He steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya serpent. These pure, holy names of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastimes. Krishna is the Lord of the 12 forests of Raja. He is ever youthful, and he is the best of lovers. He is always holding a flute to his lips, and he is an excellent dresser. Krishna is the protector of the inhabitants of Raja, the destroyer of various demonic dynasties, the tender of Nanda Maharaj's cows, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land, and spiritual senses, the husband of Radharani, the supreme goddess of fortune, the butter thief, and the beautiful cowherd boy of Nanda. Krishna wanders along the banks of the river Yamuna, where he stole the garments of the gopis. He delights in the mellows of the rasa dance. He is very merciful. He is the lover and beloved of Srimati Radharani. He is the great dancer of Vrindavan, and he is the only refuge of Bhakti Vinod.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, can we share our screen?
Yes, I believe so, but I'll just ask Manju just to confirm. Manju, is
Let
it
me
enabled?
check 1 second. I'm checking. It's done.
Wow,
You may share screen, Raj.
still the fastest. Okay, can you see our screen now?
Yes, Raj, we can.
So this was suggested by Vijay Narayan on our walk today, and it's the conclusion of Krishna's instructions to Uddhava. Very, 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 very famous Uddhava Gita. And all over the world, there are instructions from Confucius, from Lao Tzu, from Adolf Hitler, from Karl Marx, from Jesus Christ, from Prophet Muhammad, from William Shakespeare. And here we have Krishna's instructions. So let us offer our respects to our spiritual master. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakrun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master has opened my eyes and we're like put unguent on them, put ointment on them by which I can see the spiritual world. And then respects to everybody. Let's all chant this together. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saha Raghunatam Nitam Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shivashakanditam Sto Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Hari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Abhishek, can you respond to this? Are you there still?
Yes, Maharaj, I'm still here.
Okay, can you see the text on the board?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Everybody else can respond with their microphones off. Shri Uddhava Uvacha
Shri Uddhava Uvacha
Sudustaram Imam Manye
Sudustaram imam manye.
Yogacharyam anatmanaha.
Yogacharyam anatmana.
Yatanjasa pumam siddhyat.
Yatanjasa puman sadyet.
Tanme bruhi anjasachuta.
Tanme bruhi anjusachuta.
Okay, you chat and I'll respond along with everybody else.
Sure. Shri Udava Vacha.
Shri Udava Uvacha.
Sudustaram imam manye.
Sidustaram imam manye.
Yoga chara karyam anatmana.
Yogacharyam anatmana.
Yatanjasya punam sidyet.
Yatanjasa pumana said yet.
Tanme bruhi anand sayuta.
Tanme bruhi anjasachuta. Uddhava said, my dear Achyuta, Lord Achyuta, I fear that the method of yoga described by you, because first I guess there's karma yoga, then jnana yoga, then dhyana yoga, is very difficult for one who cannot control his mind. Therefore, please explain to me in simple terms how someone can more easily execute it. Prayasha pundarikaksha yunjato yogino manaha vishidantya samadhanam mano nigraha karshitaha. O lotus-eyed Lord, generally those yogis who try to steady the mind experience frustration because of the inability to perfect the state of trance. Thus they weary in their attempt to bring the mind under control. Tata ananda dugam parambujam hangsa shreyer naravinda lochan sukam nu vishvara yoga karma bis anmay yayami vihata namaniha. Therefore, O lotus-eyed Lord, of the universe, swan-like men happily take shelter of your lotus feet, the source of all transcendental ecstasy. But those who take pride in their accomplishments in yoga and karma fail to take shelter of you and are defeated by your illusory energy. And of course, we're very, very, very much enamored with Srila Prabhupada's question of what is the greatest yoga asana? Prabhupada said, what is the greatest yoga asana? Oh, Bhujasana, there's so many of them, right? Mayurasana, Siddhasana. And Prabhupada said, no, Dandavats. Dandavats is the most difficult of all the yoga asanas. He said, very rare to find a yogi who can do this. Okay. Kim, oh, my dear infallible Lord, it is not very astonishing that you intimately approach your servants who have taken exclusive shelter of you. After all, during your appearance as Lord Ramachandra, even while great demigods like Lord Brahma were vying to place the effulgent tips of their helmets upon the cushion of your lotus, upon a cushion where your lotus feet rested, you displayed special function for affection for the monkeys, such as Hanuman, because they had taken exclusive shelter of you. And then he goes on glorifying Krishna in his process and asking to give instructions. Okay. This is a very famous verse. Oh, my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in the spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged life of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. Srila Prabhupada and Paramatma Ki Jai. Sri Sukadeva Vacha said, okay. And then being questioned by Uddhava, Krishna displayed his very attractive smile. He said, yes, I shall describe to you the principles of devotion to me, by executing which a mortal human being will conquer unconquerable death. What it means for us is we can just go on expanding our service forever and ever. Otherwise, whatever skills we develop, whatever abilities we develop, whatever qualities we develop at the time of death, whoop, they're going to be washed away. So maybe you're trying to develop some particular skill in the service to Krishna. You like it very much. You feel Krishna likes it. But if we conquer death, that means our service will go on. We can go on with it. Always remembering me, one should perform all his duties for me, but without being impetuous. Okay. So if one is a physician, then why are you working? Well, for the money to some degree, the income. Okay. So all the income should go to Krishna. Okay. You have deities in the house, bring it all home to them. Yeah. And or else we're doing to help people. Okay. Helping them so they can be in a better position to understand Krishna and understand these instructions to Uddhava. Okay. Perform all his duties for me without being impetuous, with mind and intelligence offered to me. One should fix his mind in attraction to my devotional service. One should take shelter of holy places where many saintly devotees reside, and one should be guided by the exemplary activities of my devotees who appear among the demigods, demons, and human beings. Okay. So here we are, and there's quite a few people, saintly devotees, who are accumulating here, and we're broadcasting this on YouTube, and I hear that people also watching us there. Hello, YouTubers. Yeah. Okay, so taking shelter of the holy places, pritak, either alone or in public gatherings, with singing and dancing and other exhibitions of royal opulence. One should arrange to celebrate those holy days, ceremonies, and festivals set aside especially for my worship. So, of course, every day we have Mangal Arti during Brahma Muhurta, and it can be done with like royal opulence. Yeah. And then, of course, Ekadasi, twice a month. Yeah. And then special holidays. I don't think there's any specifically coming up right now. In August, there'll be Balaram Purnima. That will be happening. Then after that, of course, is Janmashtami, Radhastami. Then all one after another, there'll be Vamana Dwadasi, Jiva Goswami's maybe disappearance, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance, Haridas Thakur's disappearance, and then Vishwarup Mahotsava, which is the anniversary of Srila Prabhupada's sannyas. So observing all these and producing nice literature, so many things we can do, so many ideas for serving Krishna in terms of these little festivals like that. Okay. Mameva Sarvabhuteshu. With a pure heart, one should see me, the Supreme Soul within all beings, and also within oneself, to be both unblemished by anything material, and also present everywhere, both externally and internally, like the omnipresent sky. Okay. So actually, the living entities they just somehow or other have acquired this temporary insanity. And when it's over, they're quite happy to apologize. Oh my God, what did I do? Oh, brilliant Uddhava, one who thus views all living entities with the idea I am present within each of them, and who by taking shelter of this divine knowledge offers due respect to everyone, is considered actually wise. Such a man sees equally the Brahmana, the outcast, the thief, and the charitable promoter of Brahminical culture, the sun, and the tiny sparks of fire, the gentle and the cruel. Wow, such a position. For him who constantly meditates upon my presence within all persons, the bad tendencies of rivalry, envy, and abusiveness, along with false ego, are very quickly destroyed. So Krishna is there, directing people, controlling them. the big mean bad dog. So this Krishna just tells him, oh, don't bother this person. Look over there. There's something more important. Disregarding the ridicule of one's companions, one should give up the bodily conception and its accompanying embarrassments. Give up the bodily conception. One should offer obeisances for all, before all, even the dogs, outcast cows, and asses, falling flat on the ground like a rod. And this, of course, becomes more and more natural. I noticed one time, whenever I pass over rivers, I have this desire to offer my respects because they're all beautiful, they're all wonderful, they're all manifesting Krishna's function and potencies to keep this world out working properly. And if we respect them, then they can do their job. Until one has fully developed the ability to see me within all living beings, one must continue to worship me by this process with the activities of speech, mind, and body. Purport. Until one fully realizes the Supreme Lord within all beings, he should continue the process of offering obeisances to all creatures. Although one may not be able to actually fall on the ground before all creatures, at least within his mind or by his words, one should offer respect to all living beings. This will accelerate the devotee's self-realization. Of course, Trinadapi Sunichena Todori Va Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Siddhahari. Lord Chaitanya summarizes everything. By such transcendental knowledge of the all-pervading personality of Godhead, one is able to see the absolute truth everywhere. Freed from all doubts, one gives up fruitive activities. Trying to get something. You know? Of course, maybe we want to get something for Krishna. The Krishna counter boys want to get the tall fruits for Krishna. You know? So many things we're trying to get for Krishna, but that's a different kind of fruitive activities. Here in the material world, everything is just being arranged for us. The proper education, the proper, Krishna will tell Uddhava you should dress in tree bark. It always seems strange coming from California where you have pine trees. You know? But then I went to South America and I saw so many, different kinds of coconut trees, betel trees. And you see that right there, you just pull it off, and the bark, the skin of the tree is a natural piece of cloth. A little bit of work, and you have some very elegant suits you can just wrap around you and put a stick through and have a very good looking set of clothes. Of course, it doesn't get cold. Indeed, I consider this process, using one's mind, words, and bodily functions for realizing me within all living beings, to be the best possible method of spiritual enlightenment. My dear Uddhava, because I have personally established it, this process of devotional service unto me is transcendental and free from all material motives. Certainly, a devotee never suffers even the slightest loss by adopting this process. And of course, now it's so easy to offer respects to everybody because we can just go out chanting Hare Krishna. And I do that whenever we go on Harinam. It can be a little tough area sometimes, but you're chanting, and Krishna can enlighten you and make you realize that all these people, there are different attitudes, negative attitudes, and all these kind of things. Really, Krishna is touching their heart. And of course, the more they're focused on the devotees, either in envy or anger, or what's the word, like joking, that will just simply serve to have the Maha Mantra enter more in their heart. And they'll develop this, reawaken their desire to reciprocate with Krishna. Maybe in the beginning they were reciprocating like Shishupal and Hiranyakasipu, but that's okay. That purifies, and eventually we come back to our real situation. So wherever we go, we can introduce Krishna. Krishna says, I'm the taste of water, the light of the sun, the fragrance of the earth. So many things there in that was chapter 10, that we can talk about those things. And then we get to know people better. We know what level of developed consciousness they have, that they've begun to realize the super soul. Many people really realize their intuitive nature. Professional gamblers, they can tell when Lady Luck is telling them to do, throw the dice or not. But then, of course, they know, okay, if I win, then I got to give half of it to poor people. I can't keep it all for myself. So they have different systems of religion, knowledge. First off, activities, karma yoga, and then developing some wisdom, some ideas, some thoughts like we're doing now. Then jnana yoga, where you actually come in contact with inspiration, intuition, insight, which is there in so many fields like that. You know? Okay, so try to realize me within the heart. Yo Maya Pare Dharma. Audava, greatest of saints. In a dangerous situation, an ordinary person cries, becomes fearful, and laments, although such useless emotions do not change the situation. But activities offered to me without personal motivation, even if they are externally useless, amount to the actual process of religion. This process is the supreme intelligence of the intelligent and the cleverness of the most clever. For by following it, one can, in this very life, make use of the temporary and unreal to achieve me, the eternally real. Thus I have related to you, both in brief and in detail, a complete survey of the science of the absolute truth. Even for the demigods, this science is very difficult to comprehend. I have repeatedly spoken this knowledge to you with clear reasoning. Anyone who properly understands it will become free from all doubts and attain liberation. Okay. Anyone who fixes attention on these clear answers to your question will attain the eternal confidential goal of the Vedas, the supreme absolute truth. One who liberally disseminates this knowledge among my devotees is the bestower of the absolute truth. And to him I give my very own self. So if we're dressing the deities, painting pictures on our walls, cooking beautiful offerings, we should disseminate these, show pictures. Let your good works shine, as it's in the Bible, let your good works shine forth before men, so that your Father in heaven will be glorified. Okay. And then he says, don't, same as Arjuna, don't give this knowledge to nasty people who are not humble. Okay. Okay. And then I think, okay. Through analytical knowledge, ritualistic work, mystic yoga, mundane business, and political rule, people seek to advance in religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Because you are my devotee, whatever men can accomplish in these multifarious ways, you will very easily find within me. Harinama, 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 Eva Kevalo, Kalo Nasteva Gatu Anyata. There's the best way to be a devotee in Kali Yuga. Just chant Hare Krishna all the time. Then chant Hare Krishna all the time more intensely. Sukadeva Goswami said, hearing these words spoken by Lord Krishna, and having thus been shown the entire path of yoga, Uddhava folded his hands to offer obeisances, but his throat choked up with love and his eyes overflowed with tears, so he could say nothing. So, very, very nice. Thank you, Vijayji, for suggesting this Uddhava Gita, which was kind of the end of Krishna's teachings. After this, of course, he'll he'll talk to Uddhava, giving some more instructions under a banyan tree. Maybe it's the same instructions, but at that point, Maitreya Muni will also come and hear it. So maybe it's a little bit later, maybe it's the same time like that. So any comments by anyone? Any questions like that? Suggestions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
When I said on text 24, I think it said that it was even difficult for the demigods to comprehend this knowledge. I didn't understand why. Is it because they're too much materially engrossed and they don't care, or they don't ask these questions?
Okay. Yeah, it's actually a very good question. I don't see it here. Yeah.
23 or 24, I think.
Huh?
It was 23 or 24.
21, 22, 23. Yeah. One time, one devotee, Makanlal Das, he was there in the Bay Area. Brother was Narayan. He took sannyas, left his body not too long ago. But I think he said he asked Prabhupada one time, he said, Prabhupada, do the demigods know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Controller, like that? And Prabhupada said, they are like you. They are knowing but not always liking. So the demigods are sakam devotees. They do their activities and they get the post like that and stuff, you know. And usually they act pretty well. And of course, there are varying degrees of demigods in terms of their purification. In the current time, we know that Yamaraj is a pure devotee, you know. But Prabhupada says even Yamaraj, you know, has his desires. He's after the post. He wants to be the Yamaraj. You know? So the desire for a little prestige. So that's what I understand. The demigods, you know, they're not in this fortunate position. You know. You know. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
All right. Yeah. Devatas. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate.
Maharaj, I have a question.
Okay.
Is even Brahma influenced by, is he, after, like you said, Yamaraj is usually, it can be influenced and is after the post. What is the position of Brahma?
Well, of course, there's a discussion in the Bhagavatam. Brahma is, you know, most elevated being within this universe. Well, Lord Shiva, something else too. Of course, he's not in this world. But he still has a covering, a body of intelligence. He's like, as far as I understand, he understands what's happening in 3/4 of the universe. He can tell someone if they're going to get married. He can tell them what their children's names will be, you know. And because to him, it's just all so obvious. It's just, he sees, this is coming in, that's coming in. He's so intelligent. He's kind of like the supreme Sherlock Holmes. He can just figure it all out, little things here and that, you know. And so when he has different kinds of thoughts, they come, and he's influenced by different kinds of, you know, bad thoughts or this kind of things. Then Krishna may remind him, and he casts off that body, which means he gives up those thoughts, you know. So just okay, they're gone. That's how he is. You know? So very, very elevated. And of course, there are different kinds of Brahmas also, different elevation there too, you know. But he's attached to being in the mode of goodness, to being intelligent like that, to understanding things. That a possibility is there, you know. So usually he gets the position because of so many pious activities, and then he's in a very, very good position because just like we can see the deities every day at the Artiks, he and all the demigods behind him, they see, you know, Paramatma, Shiradakshay Vishnu. Every day the curtain opens and there's darshan, and they offer their obeisances all very properly and respect him, and then maybe submit some kind of special plea to him. But usually that's just the darshan and being there in Shantaras is all they want. Then the curtains close, yeah, and he turns around and asks the demigods what's happening here and there, you know. But he also, yeah, still has that little covering, you know, of pride and attachment to his intelligence, his buddhi. You know?
Raj, do even Brahmas, can they fall down even further?
There's one purport where Prabhupada says everybody enters this material world, enters the material world as Lord Brahma. So that means you once were Lord Brahma. Okay. And now you are? Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So Maharaj, but it is not our position that we should be asking help of the demigods to be established in Krishna consciousness through the prayers of Brahma Samhita.
That's exactly what Prabhupada says, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila chapter 7, Lord Chaitanya and 5 features. And Lord Chaitanya, when he was in Kashi, he was going to Kashi Vishwanath temple. And Prabhupada says, you know, Vaishnavas don't usually worship demigods, but here Lord Chaitanya is showing everybody, and we should follow that example, how to worship the demigods properly. So he says, therefore, we can worship the demigods and the principles of the following prayers from Brahma Samhita. So he includes the prayer for Durga, prayer for Shiva, prayer for Ganesh, prayer for Surya. And each of those, we can chant them. And then this is how to properly worship the demigods. And then they become very pleased, you know. So yeah, we can worship the demigods for their mercy.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Govindam Yachakshare Savita Sakalagram Raja Samasta Suryamurtura Teja Yashyagnaya Brahmita Sambrata Kala Chakro Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Surya Bhagavan Ki Jai. So any final comments or questions here before we return control over to the brahmacharinis? We're the only ones who can approach Lord Nrsingadev. Tacit consentit. He who says nothing gives his approval. Okay, then we return control to the controllers of the program here.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So with that, we'll go on to the next part of the program. Amit Bey, are the girls available to sing the Nrsinga prayer?
Namaste Narasingaya.
Namaste.
Singaya. Pranadadaine. Hiranyakashipurvaksha. Hiranyakashipurvaksha. Shilatankanakalaya. Shilatankanakalaya. Ito na singaw parito na singaw. Ito na singaw parito na singaw. Yato yato yami tato na singaw. Yato yato yami tato na singaw. Mahina singaw rindaye na singaw. Mahina singaw rindaye na singaw. Narasinga madim sharanam prapade. Narasinga madim sharanam prapade. Tava kare kamalavare. Naga marbuta shingam. Nanita hiranyakashipur tanu bringam. Keshavadita narari rupa jaya jagadisha hare. Jaya jagadisha hare. Jaya jagadisha hare. Tavakare kamalavare. Naka marputa shinga. Narita hiranyakashipu tanu vringa. Keshavadrita narali rupa jaya jagadisha hare. Jaya jagadisha hare. Jaya jagadisha hare. Jaya Nrsingadev, 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 Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, की जय। हरे कृष्णा हरे बोल।
Okay, thank you, everyone. So that concludes this evening's program. If everyone will go ahead and unmute themselves or recite the Vaishnava Pranam prayer.
Panchakalpatruyacha kripasindubhyo patithanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Everyone.
Hare Krishna.